Hi, Aman. Good evening.
Good evening.
What are you doing these days?
Just brushing up my current affairs and my acads. I'm just working on myself, basically. Yes.
Okay. What else do you do after revising your current affairs and brushing up yourself?
I basically spend my day majorly watching podcasts and listening to music, reading books, and stuff like that. I have a
Okay.
particular inclination towards Joe Rogan's podcast. That are my favorites.
Who is
Yes.
that?
Joe Rogan is an UFC commentator turned comedian. He is a great personality. I derive motivation from him actually. Yes.
Okay. On what topics does it have?
The podcasts are on like everything under the sun from ancient civilizations to contemporary science and progress, COVID-19, and generally it's an intellectually heavy podcasts.
Okay.
He
Okay.
invite he invite guests like Elon Musk and
Hmm.
Randall Carlson or Graham Hancock and yeah, Michio Kaku.
Can you tell me the period in which the ancient civilization was there?
uh, from the major perspective of the major academia of archaeological surveys, I think the they think that it began around 5,500 years ago, and the first civilization was the Sumerians, while Graham Hancock and other scientists believe that it was we already had an ancient civilization which was which was on a period back 12,800 years ago. Yes.
What are the four
So
types of civilizations?
uh, I am yet to know this answer. Sorry.
Okay. Okay. What type of music do you listen?
I basically listen to sad pop, sad rap, basically.
By whom?
By I have a favorite uh, artist. It's called Paufu.
Okay. Belongs to which country?
He's from USA.
Right. Who is the president of USA?
Current president is Joe Biden.
Okay. Who was before him?
Before Joe Biden, it was Donald Trump.
Okay. All right. So why not to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Aman Kureta. I hail from Jaipur, Rajasthan. The meaning of my name is peace, solace, tranquility, and I think my personality is in a little conflict with it. By personality, I am a general explorer, and I am naturally curious. I like to explore things. My areas of interest include cosmology, astrophysics, archaeoastrology, and of course, commerce. I'm a BCom graduate. I have also done CA intermediate during my college only. And my professors actually requested me to take a lecture for juniors for time management during the college, which were also related to doing CA intermediate. And I like reading books, particularly Dan Brown's work. During college first year, I was a member at the book club of my society of the college, and due to my impressing managerial skills, I guess I was promoted directly to the vice presidentship of the club, and then there I served for 2 terms.
Hmm.
I I derive motivation from Joe Rogan and yes, Michio Kaku.
Okay. Tell me, like, what is the evidence for the Big Bang theory and what exactly happened during the Big Bang?
Okay. So the Big Bang, our solar system is just a little, it's in a little speck of time. It has been around for 4.5 billion years ago, but the Big Bang happened quite a long time ago. And during the Big Bang, there are basically two major theories. For example, first is the cosmological clouds was so dense that it immersed itself into a small ball, which then, uh, in layman terms, blowed and produce a big bang, which then created waves of waves of creation and evolution in the universe.
Can you
So
tell
that
me, okay, can you tell me why is the sky dark at night?
the sky is dark at night because the sun's light doesn't reach that part of the earth, so it reflects as dark.
Okay, okay. All right. Can you tell me what is the opportunity cost?
Opportunity cost is the implicit cost which is lost when we do something else in place of something else. For example, the opportunity cost for starting a business and resigning from a job is the salary of that job.
Hmm. What do you mean by the implicit?
Implicit is implied, not explicitly paid. Uh, it does not actually represents an outflow, basically.
Hmm. Okay. Then why it is called cost if it's not
Uh,
costing you anything?
uh, it it, uh, it is actually costing you your time and your
But that
potential.
time is the cost of the like whatever you are doing right now, right? That is the new job. You are giving
Yeah.
time and in return you are getting salary. Why is it
Yes,
linked with the past job or something like that?
because that time you could have spent earning the salary of that job. So factoring in that concept, it would be the cost
You have 1 hour.
of.
You have 1 hour, right? You
Mhm.
can you can do either of the jobs. You can't do both the jobs. And for example,
Yes.
both the job are paying you 5,000. You
Mhm.
can't earn 10,000 in 1 hour. You have to do one job at a time,
Mhm.
right? That's a basic funda. And if you're earning 5,000 in an hour, then how you can say that it is costing you 5,000? What does that mean?
If the payout is equal, I don't think there rises an opportunity cost.
Okay,
If
let's say if I hire you for the 5,000 and the company from which you have resigned was paying you 4,000. You
Mhm.
are giving me 1 hour and getting 5,000. I don't
Mhm.
see there is any cost like you are paying implicitly, explicitly. What is this?
Yeah, in this case, there's no opportunity cost. There is an opportunity cost, but we are
No,
not in a position of loss.
get yourself clarified. You are saying in this case there is no opportunity cost, and then you are explaining that there is opportunity cost. I
Yeah,
can't see what you say.
no, I was actually mixed up during my
Okay, come
thinking.
again.
There exists an opportunity cost here, irrespective of you are in a position of loss or profit. Whatever you leave to do something else it does formulate the opportunity cost. For example, if you leave your job of 4,000 to pursue something which pays you 5,000 in the same
For
amount of
example,
time.
let's take it's my first job.
Oh,
I
okay.
was just a student. I graduated and got the job.
Yes.
Then where is the cost and everything? I still can't see. Like
Yeah. In that case, there's no opportunity cost because you haven't had really an opportunity to generate income for yourself in the past.
why you are not working since you graduated?
I'm actually pursuing my articleship, so it doesn't really count in the work ex. But yeah, I've been learning about the basics of income tax and GST during my articleship period.
You are currently working, right?
I'm
Like
currently working at Vikas and Associates. Do I have to name the firm?
completely up to you. Then tell me the different tax slabs that India has right now.
India currently in this year follows two tax regime. The old tax regime between before 2022 budget, and after 2022 budget, it got updated to the new tax regime. The new tax regime has changes. For example, I'll start from the bottom only. The first slab is 0 to 3 lakh. If your income falls under the slab of 0 to 3 lakh, you don't have to pay any tax. If your income falls under if your income falls under 3 lakh to 5 lakh, 3 lakh to 5 lakh,
Okay,
you'll have to.
let's say your income is 7 lakh in the new tax regime.
Yes, sir.
Calculate
Uh,
what tax you need to pay.
Technically, the tax that you are liable to pay is 25,000, but in the income tax act,
Give
there's
me
an
give me one answer under the new tax regime. I don't
zero,
know technically or something like that.
zero. For an income up to 7 lakh, zero.
Why zero?
Because you get the benefit of rebate under section 87A.
Okay. And what if the income is 8 lakh?
8 lakh, then it will be calculated according to the slabs.
All right. And if the income is 7 lakh under the new tax regime?
The
Oh, sorry, old
the
tax regime.
in case of old tax regime, I might need a pen and paper, or do I have to
Take up.
think? Okay. So the new tax, the tax that you are liable to pay would be 42,500 without using the effect of surcharge and the marginal rate of tax.
What are the different tax slabs you used for this?
Uh, in the previous regime, old regime,
What are the different tax slabs you use?
I used for the first 2,50,000 that you earn, you don't have to pay any tax. For the next 2,50,000, you'll have to pay 5% tax, and the next 2 lakh, you have to pay 15% tax.
15 or 20?
15.
I think it's 20, but okay. All right. What subjects did you go through when you were doing the BCom?
I majorly went through many subjects were like similar to CA, for example, GST and income tax and financial management, accounting, and strategic management.
Hmm.
And yes, basically,
Why your
they were.
CGPA is so low? I see that your CGPA is not up to the mark.
I'm sorry, I wasn't able to hear.
Why your CGPA is low in the college time?
Because I was involved in a lot of things during the college. It was really an exposure burst for me. I
Don't
have,
don't give the excuse, give the exact reason.
because I was heading the book club of the college.
So what? You are ready to
I
sacrifice your studies and the CGPA because you just want to add something. That means you can't multitask, maybe.
uh, I tried devoting my time uh, cautiously, but I wasn't able to, like. I also had CA inter during my college, so
No, no, don't give me an excuse. You had some activities earlier. You were blaming it on the your head position, and now you are blaming on the intermediate CA. And you are
I
ready. Seems that the other things are much important, and the college, which is like base for the PGP program, you sacrificed a lot of things there. Maybe yes.
uh, I think I gained a lot of knowledge above the books there, and the exposure that kind of
No, no.
that
If you would have gained a lot of knowledge, then it must be reflected in your CGPA, right?
um,
You
the
can't make
worldly
the
knowledge,
you can't
I
make the
think.
excuse that you know a lot of quant concepts, but your marks
Mm.
is very low in the CAT section. So that doesn't
Yeah,
make any sense, right? Okay,
yeah,
tell
it's not.
something about your college.
Sorry.
Tell something about your college.
Uh, my call. Okay, so it's situated in the South Delhi campus of the Delhi University, and it's one of the best colleges for the BCom program. And the professors really, there were really nice, and it recently got an NAAC credit rating of A plus. And campus wise, it's a very beautiful college. But the 1.5 years of college went in the COVID, and we wouldn't
Tell
be
me
able to.
some mission agenda or something good about the college. These are like very typical things that applies to every college. Beautiful campus.
Mhm.
What do I need to do with the location?
Okay, one notable thing about my college is that we had an alumni who's played for India. He's Rishabh Pant, and our cricket team is literally the best in Delhi University.
Okay. Who is the principal?
The principal currently is changed, and I'm not aware of the new principal. But at my time, it was Shri. Um I'm sorry, I'm not able to
You are not
recollect.
even able to recall the earlier one, right?
No.
What's the vision or mission of your college? Do you know that?
I'm sorry, I'm yet to know.
You're yet to know,
Yeah,
and you are graduated.
I mean, like, I have to. I don't know right now.
Okay. When was the DU University founded?
The TU University found, I have no clue. I'm sorry.
Okay. No clue. Okay. Tell me what is elasticity in the simpler words?
Elasticity is basically reaction. Reaction.
Reaction.
Reaction if the reaction underlining price changes. Reaction in the demand and supply of a product underlining the price changes.
Okay. How do you value some company?
A certain company is
Yeah.
that you can value a company by its market size. For example, the number of outstanding shares in the market multiplied by the current value of the shares, you can get a fair valuation of a company's position in the market.
Is it a fair valuation? Is it so easy to do the valuation? Like just multiplying whatever the and the share price is basically decided by the demand and supply, right? Even if
Yes.
the company is not worth it, the share price might be high or maybe low.
Uh, it it can be possible, as we have seen in the history also.
But
It
if
is possible.
it is not listed, it's a big
Sorry.
it's a big company and not listed yet, like a Deloitte. How would
Okay.
you
So then we can find so then we can look at the revenue model of the company and the profit margins of the company, or the CAGR to be precise.
would you do? What would you do with that? You got it like uh, growth in revenues 15%, 20%.
Okay. So I read a book, it's called Coffee Can Investing, and it had like benchmarks for a good for a company to qualify to be called as a good or a growing company.
No,
And
no,
I
no.
would
Just tell me, how do you value that in terms of the monetary value? Not like, is it a good company, bad company? Leave that.
revenue, net worth, revenue of a company.
What would you
If
do
it
with the revenue? Like I have 100 rupees revenue today. What is the value of my company?
uh, I would compare it with the peers of the industry the company is in, and would see the position of the company, hence according to it.
What if it's a new innovative company? Like if I'm the drone manufacturer, there are no competitive peers.
Then I would see how the venture capitalists valued that company during the rounds of raising.
Okay, maybe. But there must be some fundamental right on which the venture capitalist was also valuing the company.
Yeah, I can only take a guess. I think it's based on revenue and the profit only. The venture capitalists see the potential revenue
There are a lot of
growth.
startups that is making losses, so not really into the profit, only the agenda. But
Yeah, yeah, yes,
yeah,
yes, definitely.
the best answer you could have said is that you don't know the things rather than beating around the bush. Uh, but let's talk about your future goals, what you want to do, and yes, mainly what do you want to do, and why you qualify yourself as a people with no work ex. I think the articleship is also a sort of work ex, maybe not counted in the papers, but yeah. And make me clarify, like I still not getting you. You are interested in so many different things, music, podcast, and you don't have like fundamentals clear when it comes to the academics. You somehow got good percentile, but but make me clear, like why do you want to do MBA and what is the interest? From where does it come? Please
Mhm.
don't beat around the bush. You have already beat it.
Okay. So growing up, I had exposure to business, as I come from a business family. And during college, I also started a small business. It's called Chapters, the bookstore. And that really motivated me to pursue a career in this field, wherein I would being wherein I was wherein I would be able to use my entrepreneurial skills, and the platform that the MBA would give me, and an MBA degree would give me, would greatly help in me in that concept. Furthering the future goals I have is like to secure a top position in top managerial position in a good company, or an MNC, and bring about change in policies so that a better uh, growth or better outcome can be sustained for the company. So I want to bring about
Just
the
tell me like short, very few down the years, like 1 or 2 years down the line goals. Because
one or
becoming
yes.
a CEO or something, we can't assure you that you will be the CEO or you will be at the top management position. That completely depends on how you do your work, right?
Yes, yes, yes. So my short-term goal or a 1 or 2 year down the line goal would be to make connections in the college, and I also bring about a fresh perspective on the table, and so I think I would be able to form meaningful bonds in the college, and uh, basically learning and growing 2 years down the lane when I pass out.
In which field you are interested?
I'm yet to make a decision, but I think I have an inclination towards finance and consulting.
Finance and consulting. Why consulting?
Uh, Consulting, I think, is basically the providing solutions or advices, and I think I might do, or it might be a field for me. So I'm yet to make a decision. The first year of MBA would allow me to test my waters and see which field I'm more inclined towards.
We really don't teach consulting per se.
Sorry, I wasn't able to
We
hear.
really don't teach consulting if you are looking for that to explore in the first year.
I mean not.
Anyways, just explain me like you are doing CA, right? You sacrificed your graduation for the CA. You cleared intermediate, right?
Mhm.
You doing articleship. Why do you want to do MBA? Why not to go for the final CA attempt?
Because while doing articleship, I had a lot of exposure to top managers and seeing their profiles. The only sense it would make for me was to pursue MBA if I want to see myself as an top managerial position, and an MBA would provide me that.
For
Uh,
example, again, if you join the B school and after 1 year, you will see some people growing in some other field in the CA without the MBA. You would again think of doing the CA and leaving the MBA because you would again see yourself at some good position. Or for example, if some YouTuber starts earning the money in the lakhs, you will see that he was a dropout of IIM Ahmedabad and I shall also drop out. What's this like? This decision is very recent. Like you must have started your CA 1, 2, 3 years before, right?
yes, yes, yes. I had, but
Why
I
there
had.
is a like very frequent switch to MBA? Why not completing the CA? It's like you're wasting someone's seat, someone's resources, even your own resources are getting wasted here.
Yes. So I started CA whilst there was a COVID. So I hadn't really gotten exposure to fields and opportunities. During my articleship, it was the first time I step out of the college and really face the world, and wherein
See, Aman, see. I am the CA, and I don't, and I know that how much one has to read for the CA, how much one has to prepare. There is no point in telling me that you were looking for exposure or something. I feel that COVID was the best time to do the CA, and I think you aced it, right? And my
Yes.
point is that you are so close to becoming a CA, right? Why not
Mhm.
to go for the CA first and then doing your MBA? Because once
Uh,
you start doing your MBA, your goals, your desire for becoming a CA would might not be that great.
Yes, but I am open to change, and I'm not only open to change. I want to change my fields of career as pursuing my CA to MBA, because I think it would provide me an holistic growth of um, all the fields and in the industry. And I see, and the only degree that would help me securing a seat or.
The amount of teaching that you will be getting through the CA for the finance domain,
Mhm,
right,
mhm,
will be no matched at any course, even not for the MBA. And the type of work you will be doing is majorly based on your theoretical knowledge about the CA course and everything. You don't really need to learn management or something. That is something you will keep learning as you keep working over the
mhm,
years, right? Even after coming to the B schools, we don't have any tools or something that we will impart in you to upskill you or something like that. We have books and we teach like we used to do in the school, right? So if we are coming here to learn some skills or something and
mhm,
giving up on the CA, I do want to know the real reason behind your decision, like from where you took the guidance or who suggested you.
Okay, so the half of my cousins are CAs and half of my cousins are IITians. So I really go there to like take guidance. So the CA cousins of mine were like, you should not pursue CA because it's quite mundane in the sense that the course is not dynamic as like MBA's course. It's quite dynamic. And the second thing would be the the growth that would be in the MBA would be exponentially more than us than being a CA.
What's the
And so
corporate tax rate in India?
the corporate tax rate is, I think it's 30%.
Are you sure there was some news recently, right? Reduction of the corporate tax.
Uh, if it's, I am not aware of it.
All right. Tell me something about Indian economy. How is the Indian economy doing from the CS viewpoint?
The Indian economy is actually that after the 2022 budget, it's really in a robust mode for because of the uh, because of the importance given to the progressive taxation, and we've been seeing the year high or the monthly high collections of GST and the monthly high collections of income tax. And just because of this, because of increasing the tax slabs would naturally make more people fall in and pay tax. So I think that was a really great move.
Or-
Secondly, Indian economy.
Hmm. Like, still I don't understand like why there are two regimes still there, old regime and the new regime. Why not to discontinue either of the one?
Because, for example, during the old regime, we also had a composite regime. So, giving people two choices uh, is basically a step towards evolvement and not a sudden change, so that people can digest the change and also to make sure that people really know what the new regime is. They have to give time to for them to study and to know things to CA and the um, professionals in this field.
Tell me something about world news, what's happening in and around the world. There have been a lot of attacks, right?
Yes.
Israel or something.
Yeah, yeah. So there's a war ongoing between Israel and Hamas, and uh, I I don't think I have a stance on either of the two countries, but the limited knowledge I know that Hamas is a terrorist organization and it's instigated the battle or the war, and Israel in response created havoc among the
Then
civilians.
why you can't support the one? Like you really said that you don't have any stance on either of the one. If one is a
Because I
terrorist
have
organization, then I think it's pretty evidence that you would not support that Hamas, right?
Yes, but yes, only because of the reason that Israel is retaliating and not the first one to make the move, and that is the reason why I can't support any one of them because I
What
don't know
would
the
you do
ground
like
reality.
if some terrorist or if some outsider attacks your family or attacks you? You would obviously retaliate, right? You will
Yes,
use whatever you want to protect yourself.
yes. In that sense, Israel would be correct, but the retaliation is in a limit, and the civilians being killed is inhumanitarian. So I can't really know the ground reality of it. So I can't take a stance on it. I'm sorry.
Okay. If some such situation appears and you have ambition to head like top management, something happened like this in your company, or maybe you promoted to like head some atomic department of India or something. You
Mhm.
can't say like you don't have stance or something, right?
Yeah, there I would have to be. I have to take a stance of with my nationals' interest in mind. So I think what would be the best for India or this nation I would be in would be, I think, my stance. For example, if in a hypothetical world, Israel is a trade friend of India, so India would naturally, or the Indian foreign ministers would naturally take a stance with Israel.
Really? We have a good relation with the Russia, but we really didn't openly support Russia. right? He had a lot of
Uh,
with Russia.
yes, because we also have we've been known for our neutral stance for years, and as I mentioned, it was hypothetical. So,
And who is the Vice President of India?
sorry,
Who is the Vice President of India?
Venkatesh Naidu.
Okay, and pretty wrong, buddy, but okay. Minister of Corporate Affairs,
I'm sorry, I'm not aware of it.
GST Minister,
I'm sorry, I'm not aware of it.
rivers flowing from north to south,
From north to south, Ganga, Brahmaputra. Why
from
do I have
east
to
to west.
from east to west? From east to west, Narmada and Godavari.
Okay, what's what type of battles? Okay, tell me history of Amer Fort.
Amer Fort. Okay, so Amer Fort was inhabited was by the Jaipur Raja Jai Singh, and uh, I actually don't know much of it.
Hmm,
There were attacks, and the world's largest. Uh, I don't know what to call a tope in English, but the world's largest tope is placed on the Amer Fort.
got it. Got it. Okay, let's end the interview. But before that, tell me like some weakness of you.
Yes, so I am quite a hopper. I hop on things, and I think I am an extrovert, which can lead to which can sometimes backfire. I tend to overshare, basically.
Okay, all right. Let's end the interview. Thank you.
Thank you.
Uh, okay, Aman. So just want to know your view about how it went. Which are the things which could have been improved, and where did you do well?
डेफिनेटली इम्प्रूवमेंट चाहिए एकेडमिक्स में एंड इंडिया के मिनिस्ट्री में एंड द करंट अफेयर्स में उसमें तो डेफिनेटली इम्प्रूवमेंट चाहिए.
All right, all right. So let me tell some of the things. So we started with your profile, right? And
हम्म.
when I asked you really about what you do nowadays, don't
हम्म.
just say that you are preparing or you are brushing up your current affairs, right? Don't put everything into like you are just preparing for the interviews. Don't pretend it like that. You have great point to mention articleship, so come up with that, right?
ओके.
Say
ओके.
that you
ओके.
are working and don't make any blank statement like working on yourself. I can't understand what that means, right?
ओके.
Say something specific, right? Even if you're
ठीक.
working on yourself or something like that.
ठीक है.
Uh, then this podcast is concerned, right? Uh,
हम्म.
I see that you have a great interest there, but do mention some topics which you know very well. For
ओके.
example, topics like ancient civilization or something, the whole discussion can be turned to the ancient civilization because you yourself is mentioning the ancient civilization, no one else is. And you didn't know about the four ancient civilization, and
वो भी पूछ
that's not
सकते
a
हो.
great thing, right? Either don't mention it, like mention some other topics, COVID or something where you could have been stronger, right?
हम्म. हम्म.
And again, listening to the music, right? I don't have much knowledge about the music, but the professors can ask you some deep questions about the music also, right? And then you again told that you interested in cosmology or something, right?
हाँ.
The only point is that if you're really interested in those things, then it's good to mention, but don't
हम्म.
mention too many things because again, if you're mentioning too many things, then you have to revise each and everything, right?
ओके.
So either do mention, but then you should have a strong base because
ठीक है.
really professors like they are interviewing from the last 30, 40 years, so they can ask
हम्म.
better questions than me when it comes
हम्म.
to these topics, right? And then
हम्म.
when it comes to the little bit academics, like when I asked you about the CGPA, right?
हम्म.
Uh,
हम्म.
your explanation was good. I was just trying to grill you, you know,
ओके.
but maybe accept a little bit of your mistake or something. And
ओके.
instead of giving the first reason as that you were the head of something, because
हम्म.
that is like some extracurricular activity, better you would have said that yes, you was like doing
Okay.
the CA and everything.
ठीक है
You
perfect.
know, so that makes good sense. Uh, then opportunity cost, you were quite correct, but I think you need more understanding because the more questions I was asking you, the more you were getting confused in that,
Yeah.
right? And at last, then I asked you like, if a fresh graduate starts doing the job, then what would be the opportunity cost? Obviously, there would be the opportunity cost, but you said that then there would not be any opportunity cost. That means that you are not clear about this. Right.
Okay.
You really don't know about your college. I think that thing can be built
Oh,
on very easily, right?
yes.
Because I
Okay.
was once asked these questions in IIM Indore interviews, and I had no idea that I had to read all those stuff also. So they literally
Okay.
asked me the reason when my college was founded and everything, when my university was founded, what are the different types of universities there in Delhi, when did they found, right? So
अच्छा,
they can ask
ठीक है
you, read something more about DU.
ठीक है ओके
Elasticity में, I think your attention was correct, but the way you were saying that reaction or something like that, but do read bookish sort of
हाँ
explanation
फॉर्मल
about the
हो गया
elasticity because when it comes to economics, the
हम्म
people want to hear some bookish definitions rather than doing the other things. When it comes to the
ओके
valuation, right? Again,
हम्म
valuation you need to. The first thing was correct. Like the simpler way was that outstanding shares into market price. But
हम्म
I think that gives you not a fair valuation. I think that is called something market cap or something.
हाँ
Market
यस
capitalization. That is market capitalization, really not the valuation.
ओके
Valuation basically you calculate the first method is through the net present value method. The future projected cash flow inflows and outflows, and then you
यस यस यस
discount them to the present, and then you calculate and then divide it by the number of shares to get the per share value, that is the fair valuation,
ओके
right? Read 2 3 methods if you want to, right? Then when it comes to the YMBAC, there is like uh, nothing wrong when when you are just putting out the stuff like you want to be in the good position or something like that, but if you could have been more specific, you would have sound different from others because this answer is like
हम्म
meaningless for the interviewers because the person who doesn't know about anything or who is unclear would at least say that they want to achieve something, they want to get experience, they want to do the peer learning or something, right? My suggestion would be to connect with your little recent past and how you got inclined towards the management and everything, and that's why you want to do the MBA. Recent
ठीक
past, how you made the decision, rather than
ठीक
just get the what the MBA would give you.
ओके
Then when it comes to asking you about in which domain you are interested, either say that I am exploring, right?
ओके
And if you are saying something like finance and consulting and also attaching the word that I am not very sure, then obviously the professor can ask you something about the finance and consulting because it is the one said by you only, right?
हाँ ओके
Either say that I'm exploring, I'm open to change, I will figure out in the first year. I think that would be the best thing discussing with my
हम्म
peers and professors, right? But if we are saying
हम्म
finance, then the finance is a lot to take. Then even if you are consulting, then you can get anything like as simple as what is the BCG matrix or something like that,
ठीक
right?
है
Tax calculations was pretty correct, at least when I gave you the 7 lakh thing under the new, you mentioned 87A and everything, right?
हम्म
And in the previous one, I think because we had different rates of interest, my answer was coming 50 to 500, or was 40 to 500. Maybe just check the tax regimes because that is one of the basic things CA should know. Again, if you're working for some organization, then be aware about the corporate tax, right? What is
परफेक्ट
the tax rate and what is the news
वैसे
related to it?
यस आंसर टू इसका आंसर क्या है कॉर्पोरेट टैक्स एंड द
Yeah, you
न्यूज़
need
रिलेटेड
to check. Like I heard the news that it is reduced or something like that,
ठीक
but
है
I'm not
परफेक्ट
again pretty sure, right?
ओके
ठीक है, तो एक बार ये देख लेना.
ठीक है
Then I asked you about the Indian economy, right? You gave pretty correct answer because I asked you from the CA's perspective, right? And
हम्म
they can ask you just about the Indian economy, so don't just dwell everything on like tax collection and everything. There are a lot of other things, right?
हाँ समझ गया।
है ना, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, रोड एंड ट्रांसपोर्ट एंड एवरीथिंग. Then
हम्म।
GST minister or something you should have known.
हाँ वो तो यस।
If vice
यस।
president, I asked about, like, I have interviewed three people so far. None of them knows about who is the vice president. That is as basic thing as one can be, right?
ओके। ओके।
So, ठीक है. North to south and east to west were, I think, pretty correct. Again, you need to check, but I think it's correct, right?
ओके।
You are coming from Jaipur, right?
हाँ
So
हाँ।
there can be a lot of questions. Not a
हाँ
lot of
ये।
questions, but maybe one or two. And the most basic questions that I heard is why, because I also come from the Rajasthan, right? So
ओके।
I really prepared about the, like, at least three, four wars that happened in the Rajasthan
ओके।
and the history of those wars, right? Kings
ठीक
of
है।
Kings of Jodhpur, Jaipur, Udaipur, right?
ठीक है।
Do read about that because I was asked about the king of Jodhpur in I am Indore only. They asked like these creepy questions, but yes,
ओके।
ठीक है. तो
हाँ
and they will judge you, like, right? ठीक है. तो अगर तुम्हें पता होगा तो बढ़िया. And Amer Fort is like something, इसका हिस्ट्री पता ही होना चाहिए because
हाँ ये।
Amer and Nahargarh, and
हाँ।
it might be pretty possible that the interviewer already knows a lot of thing about Rajasthan, तो हो सकता है.
हम्म।
ठीक है. And they can really ask you all those things. Then Jaipur is also the part of UNESCO heritage, I believe. तो
हम्म।
उसको देख लेना एक बार. ठीक है.
ठीक है।
Maybe as random as, like, what are the different types of trains for the foreigners in the Rajasthan, palace on
ओके।
wheels and everything.
हम्म।
है ना. तो क्योंकि when it comes to the Rajasthan ना, there are a lot of things. For example, in my, like, because I am from Rajasthan, I read about the crops grown in Rajasthan, and you will find
हाँ।
that tobacco and cotton are like one of the major crops. ठीक है.
ठीक।
Then go for the current issues in the Rajasthan, right? Like, I mob lynching and uh,
इलेक्शंस भी होते हैं अभी।
the recent election also, and the mob lynching and poverty and all those things are very common in the Rajasthan. And I also read that Rajasthan is like second or the third or maybe the first state who has given a lot of IAS and the IRS in the 2022 or something. So, so just to make your answers interesting, sir, yes, sir, I believe that the Rajasthan has been rapidly growing, and even if you see the data of the IAS and IAS, because as soon as you are mentioning something concrete, like you were mentioning a lot of things when it comes to cosmology and everything, even if I
हम्म।
don't know anything, I just want to check how confident you are in saying all those things, right? So I was just judging you based on that only. ठीक है.
ओके।
Ministers and acads, thoda you need to revise, I believe. Na?
यस।
And
यस।
tell me something about yourself. I think that should be more concrete because you started somewhere around, I don't know, but तुम्हारी first दो तीन lines was explaining something. So
हाँ। ओके।
don't explain like too much in the introduction only. The interviewer will ask
हाँ
you if they
यस।
find something, है ना. कुछ
यस
तुम
यस
बोला
आई
था.
वाज। हाँ हाँ आई वाज एक्सप्लेनिंग माय पर्सनालिटी कि वो
हाँ
कॉन्फ्लिक्ट
हाँ
में है।
हाँ. तो interviewer, like, introduction में don't say personality and everything, right?
ओके 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 परफेक्ट।
Maybe you can start with the 10th, 12th, graduation, or where you come from and what did you do in your graduation. You tell there that you have pursued CA and what you're currently doing, your interest, and then maybe talk more about your personality also, right?
नीचे वाले पैराग्राफ्स में। ठीक
See, you can also mention at the start, ठीक है. बट वही है कि you need to focus कि तुम्हें इंटरव्यूअर को किस टाइप के क्वेश्चंस पूछवाने हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर आप स्टार्ट में बोलोगे तो इंटरव्यूअर माइट स्टार्ट विद अ पर्सनैलिटी थिंग, कि तुमने पर्सनैलिटी क्या क्यों बोला. और शायद कुछ ज्यादा मतलब हट के बोलोगे तो मे बी दे आस्क, बट इफ यू आर जस्ट इन द नॉर्मल स्टफ, राइट, तो फिर वो इतना सेंस नहीं बनेगा. एंड हाँ, बाकी हॉबीज में म्यूजिक एंड पॉडकास्ट ये देख लेना. इफ यू वांट टू इंटरव्यूअर्स टू आस्क यू मोर क्वेश्चंस अबाउट द पॉडकास्ट एंड एवरीथिंग, so you can any day
है।
put more focus. You can tell three, four lines or one, two lines in your interview about the podcast. So the interviewer will surely ask some things about the podcast.
ठीक है परफेक्ट।
बाकी तो मेरी तरफ से तो यही है। आई थिंक द इंटरव्यू वाज ओवरऑल गुड। कुछ ऐसा ज्यादा नहीं था हटके कि कुछ ज्यादा ही गलत हो। बट since you have 99.46, maybe you can expect decent calls। और एबीसी में भी शायद, मतलब मुझे आइडिया नहीं आया कॉल्स का इतना। तो आई वुड सजेस्ट यू टू वेट ओनली, बट हाँ, यू वुड हैव ग्रेट इंटरव्यूज। तो अच्छे से ही पढ़ो सब कुछ जो भी है, क्योंकि
ठीक है ठीक।
इंटरव्यूज काफी डाइवर्स रहते हैं। हर कॉलेज का
हम्म।
अलग टाइप का इंटरव्यू रहता है। तो काफी चीजें कवर कर रहे हो। और हाँ, बस यही है। मतलब वैसे ओवरऑल सही लगा मुझे। कम्युनिकेशन स्किल वाज गुड, लाइक प्रेजेंटेशन वाज गुड। बाकी सही था, हाँ, आई थिंक ठीक था।
ठीक है, थोड़ा मतलब थोड़ा काम करने पे हो जाएगा ना। ठीक है, आई हैव रिटन डाउन
काम
पॉइंट्स
करने
आल्सो।
को हो जाएगा, बट नाउ यू हैव टू जस्ट फोकस ऑन लाइक गेनिंग मोर एंड मोर नॉलेज about the random stuff, about the start from like basic, from where you are coming. Then you went into the college. What was the name of the college? What is the meaning of the college? ठीक है। Because the one thing I like about you were mentioning about the college, that it recent get accreditation, right?
हाँ हाँ।
That was the only solid point. After that, you were just talking about this and that thing. And then I want to test you. I just asked simple question: Who is your principal? So you
वो
said you didn't know the current. So I was like, ठीक है, पहले वाला बता देगा. But then you come that you even didn't know the former one also. So that seems a gray area, right?
ठीक है ठीक। वो होमवर्क उसमें हो जाएगा, ठीक है।
Hmm. बस mainly तो I will say this.
ओके। ऑल्सो आई मेरे को आई हैड अ डाउट, वो जो आई वाज प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर दैट इजराइल हमस वाला आंसर, एंड वाज इट ऑन द लाइन ऑफ गुड?
हाँ हाँ हाँ, वो तो like it's decent। मतलब see, अभी you will get through a lot of mock interviews, तो you will get to know कि कुछ कुछ चीजें ऐसे ही पूछी जाती हैं जस्ट टू टेस्ट योरसेल्फ कि तुम ज्यादा
हम्म।
एक्सट्रीम तो कुछ नहीं बोल पाओगे, या तुम्हारा कोई स्टैंड है। तुम ऐसा तो नहीं है मेरे कहने पे बार बार चेंज कर रहे हो। फॉर
हाँ
एग्जाम्पल,
वही।
आप अपॉर्चुनिटी कॉस्ट वाले में चेंज कर रहे थे बार बार मेरे कहने पे।
हम्म।
तो वो भी टेस्ट रहता है ना।
ठीक है
और हाँ, बस मेनली यही रहता है। अभी आपने वाइस प्रेसिडेंट गलत बोला, बट यू आर कॉन्फिडेंट, तो आई वाज लाइक ठीक है। वो आपको कहीं
हम्म।
मिस्टेक, आपने कहीं गलती कर दी होगी पढ़ने में, कुछ गलती हो गई हो, बट द मेन पॉइंट वाज कि अब आप बार बार क्लियर ही नहीं हो कि आप चेंज कर रहे हो आंसर, तो वहां पे दिक्कत रहती है।
ठीक है ठीक है
बाकी तो अगर आप इवन इफ यू आर एक्सप्लेनिंग द रॉन्ग थिंग्स और समथिंग, है ना, तब बट इंटरव्यू को पता लग जाएगा कि इसको समझ आई हुई है चीजें, ही इज नॉट जस्ट एबल टू एक्सप्लेन। तो उसमें कोई चीज दिक्कत नहीं है।
ठीक है ठीक है ठीक है, समझ गया। ओके भैया।
ओके, बाय बाय, गुड लक।
ओके, थैंक यू।